Hey y'all, happy Sunday. Cause I feel like I will put this up today. It's 3:19 p.m. on the clock, on the dot at the time. I just wanted to come on here because I did say that I was gonna do a video to further expound on my post. So the last video I did was the video where I was talking about the whole situation with Cardi B allegedly cheating while she was pregnant, whatever the case may be. Um and I am the type of person where I really don't like to go out of my way nor be in a space where it's like my default setting is to respond, react, and show up in a way where I'm just being judgmental. I do have an anointance on my throat chakra that allows me to convey myself in a way to where some people may even perceive me to be discerning and intuitive, maybe even a little bit prophetic, seeing things before they come into full form. And the definition of discernment, if you were to go and look at it, is the ability to judge well and judge correctly. But when I get to a point where I feel like I'm looking down my nose and scrunching up my face and, othering myself, it's not an energy that I feel comfortable in because it's not an energy that's native to who I am at the core and how I, choose to show up on a consistent and continuous basis. And I am just at a crossroads. Not even really at a crossroads anymore because I have made my decision, but I have been at a crossroads for a while when it comes to my presence in urban Black America, um, in the group of broadcasting and commentary, and so on and so forth. And I just, as of right now, per my experience and my knowledge, and I'm not speaking for anyone else but myself, I just don't see how I would be able to thrive in the present space that I'm in. You have to be very careful when you are someone such as myself that is able to observe and absorb energy very easily without even thinking about it and without even being intentional about it. And you have to be somebody that's very intentional about making sure, to the best of your ability, that you are putting yourself in position to be in reciprocal shared experiences. And I honestly just feel like I am extremely underappreciated in the space of urban Black YouTube when it comes to commentary. And I just, deep in my gut, from an intuitive space, um I just feel like sometimes it's okay to give yourself a permission to put, something on the back burner that really isn't lighting you up and filling you up. You understand? And I had a very confirming, affirming, divine interaction last week that just really helped me to further tie together what I was feeling and the decisions that I was contemplating on. I love and have always loved pop culture and entertainment because the way that it showed up in my life, it was more than just being amused and getting like a hit of dopamine or whatever the case may be, whatever hormones are released when you're engaging something that's bringing you excitement. um I've always enjoyed it. And in tandem to that, I've also always enjoyed helping people. You understand? This is why when I was attending Brooklyn College and I was getting my first degree, my bachelor's degree, my undergraduate degree in radio and television productions with a focus in communications. Typically when you're, in higher education, specifically because I feel like master's programs it's a little bit different. Or no, it's actually the same. But typically, when you're in college and you go to study abroad, you can go on any trip that you want to go on, but they typically have trips that are tailored to certain majors. So if you were attending Brooklyn College, and I wonder if they still go, because I know they canceled back in 2020 because of the pandemic, but I wonder if they picked it back up. They used to have this trip to, I think, Korea, and it used to be a trip like where you go over there and I think you create a film or something. And I didn't want to go. I knew I wanted to study abroad, but I did not want to go over to Korea. I wanted to go to Africa. I wanted to go to Africa. A lot of my friends were going to Europe, but I wanted to go to Africa. And I specifically wanted to go to Cape Town, South Africa. The first time that idea, that seed was even planted in my head, my right hand to God, was when I was watching that episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta in season 4, when they went over to Cape Town, South Africa with Marlo, and she was down there in the supermarket buying those African girls perm kits. I will never forget that shit. That fucking ignorant bitch. They down there at a what do you call those places? An orphanage. And they go to the supermarket to get stuff. And this bitch is putting perm in the goddamn shopping cart. I'm like, Marlo. And then she got sick and she said, I want to speak to an American doctor. Like, she was out of her mind. But outside of that ignorant bullshit, I I just had a flashback of that because that shit was nuts. Outside of that ignorant bullshit, it's something about it struck me, and I said I want to go. So when you fast forward to years later, when now I'm in undergrad and I had the opportunity to go, and it was with John Jay College, and we were going to be visiting jails, we were going to be visiting prisons, and just learning about, people that are incarcerated, and, different initiatives that's going on to make it better. There's the school to prison pipeline, and the professor that I had went with, she has this course and this movement called the prison to college pipeline, where she has a program where, like, the college goes into the prisons and gives incarcerated individuals a chance to earn their degree or get like a certificate, and then when they get out, they're able to go into college as well, and it's a great program. So that is what I chose to do for my study abroad. And that was the first time I really started to see in real time as a young adult that sense of duality within me. Like, yeah, you're into pop culture and you have your show. This is when I was doing Live with Leah show. You have your, show on the radio station, and you have your YouTube channel. But in addition to that, you still have a passion to help people. And I feel like I've always said that. Like, I have the gift of gab, but my passion is serving. And I've just been finding ways to integrate the two. And it's interesting, I'll be 29 literally in almost a month from today. It's October 20th. My birthday's on the 23rd of next month. And it will be my final year of my 20s. And I am just very proud of myself for never allowing my insecurities, my lack of sense of self, um, my lack of confidence, or lack of direction, lack of wisdom, guidance, whatever the case may be, anything that I lacked in or I perceived myself to lack in. I'm very proud that I never allowed that to run interference with that true thirst that I have to really immerse myself in wisdom. Very proud of myself for that. And I am very grateful that I've taken each opportunity to do my best to not only explore my interests, but see where there's some intersectionality and then build off of that. Sometimes success in the eyes of God, in the eyes of the universe, spirit, Allah, whatever you believe in. I feel like we all pray to the same source, but the way we put that source into perspective It's going to be tailored to our life experiences and our beliefs and our values and just learned ways of serving and showing up and worshiping. I feel like sometimes that version of success versus what we are conditioned to believe is success, they don't always line up. I'll never forget one of my lovelies, our lovelies, excuse me, of this community had sent me a DM and said like she was coming to New York and she wanted to link up and whatnot. And she was telling me that I inspired her to start her YouTube channel. And when she sent me her YouTube channel, I want to say her page was sitting at like 80K. She had a lot, like she had a nice amount of subscribers. It was more than mine. And I remember thinking to myself, like, oh wow, I inspired someone to start something that is now bigger than, you know, my platform. And I literally heard God say in that moment, sometimes you're just supposed to be a vessel for other people to actually make good on a goal that you have, but it may not be tailored to what your soul needs. And to expound upon that, basically saying like, I may not be meant to have the big YouTube channel and to have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of subscribers or thousands and thousands of subscribers. That may not be meant for me, but maybe I was just meant to come on here and do it for a multitude of reasons. And one of those reasons within that multitude is to encourage other people to do it that can grab the baton and, you know, run over the finish line. You understand? It's a collaborative effort. At the end of the day, we're all here, whether we lean into it or accept it or not, to help in instituting some balance to the frequency in which we collectively vibrate on. And we all have our part to play. And sometimes the part that we're meant to play, we don't really understand it until we take a step back and take ourselves out the game and observe it from the sidelines. You understand? Everyone plays their part. You have some people that are coaches of a game that they love, but maybe they got like badly injured, and now all they can do is advise people to play a game that they once thought that they would be playing, but they're meant to coach. Hell, you may even have somebody who wanted to be a coach. That may have been their dream, but somehow life takes them on another path and they're able to own the team that they once wanted to coach. You just never know what the higher forces that you feel that you are an extension of has planned for you. And that to me personally, because I understand everybody has their own understanding of this journey life, and no one's understanding supersedes the next. But to me, um that is what makes me really excited. The unknown. I feel like I'm not partnered yet. You understand? And I don't have a child as of yet, if that's something that's meant to be in my path. And I truly believe, and I encourage anyone out there listening who also has a similar lifestyle. I completely understand the desire to want to be partnered, to want to be in community and have support. Hell, even have a child because you want unconditional love that you're seeking and you're hoping to get that. Those are all, you know, attributes of the human experience for many people. Not everyone, but many people. Take advantage of this time of not having to depend or not being detached to anyone else. Take advantage, because that's another reason why I'm also stepping back from YouTube and deciding to just put my energy and turn my sights into to other places. Because if this was a situation where, even though I don't make much money a month, right? But let's just say I was in a household that genuinely was interdependent and interreliant on, you know, my couple of $100 a month. You understand, that comes into the household per YouTube. It would only be right to consider that. What if I had a child who, I don't know, went to an event like a extracurricular activity monthly, and that monthly fee was between maybe $250 to $400, and I have it in my budget that, okay, I don't make much money on YouTube, but from my YouTube check, I can pay for that. When you decide to attach yourself to people and to responsibilities and to requirements, it's just natural that you now consider those things and those peoples when you start to have that burning desire to pivot, when you start to feel that nudge on your spirit to have your steps ordered in another direction. And a lot of people perceive it to be a situation, and I'm not even like saying that that's not the case, because I don't know what it's like, but just from observation, doing what it is that I do in counseling people, a lot of people more often than not ignore their gut and just take the path of least resistance, and least resistance in regards to, this is the path that's going to help me maintain my status quo that I'm not quite happy with, but it just is what it is. My lights is on, my bills is paid, my kids is healthy and fed, it's fine. And then before you know it, your anointings or your dream has gotten away from you. So for me, it's just like, I'm just at this point where um I really don't have anything to lose. I've done great work on YouTube, putting the numbers aside. I've done a lot of great and substantial work on YouTube, and I don't know all of the people who have seen my content and so on and so forth. Um, Additionally, I'm just not appreciated in this space. I was reading an article on Medium, and I wonder if I could find it real quick. Some of y'all have also asked, like, if y'all will be able to book sessions. Yeah, my business is always going to be my business. I'm just not going to have it reliant upon YouTube and stuff. Mhm. I wonder if this is the article. I think it is. Yes, this is it. So I'm gonna share my screen. Y'all know I swear by Medium. I swear by Medium. Like, I love reading articles on here. So this article is called "Brutal Truths About Success No One Talks About," and it was this one. Go to where the thing you cherish the most is cherished the most. If you are passionate about a skill, passion, an industry, or a cause, you need to go to a place where it's valued. Like, and that was 4 days ago. I read that article. And 4 days ago, when I read that article, was also the day that I had that divine interaction. So it was just a lot of different things that really, just like I said, solidified this decision to put my content on private, unpublish my Patreon page, and just embark on the new um chapter and next level of this journey. Just because I don't strike the gold that I intend or perceive to strike in one area, it doesn't mean that I didn't successfully complete a chapter. I believe that YouTube has helped me to really find my voice and find myself. I really do. This community that we have created together has really allowed me to be vulnerable. It has challenged me to grow in a multitude of ways, and it has also validated and affirmed me several times over when I thought that I was tripping and I was out of whack. I tell y'all all the time, I could come on here and say, I'm not having a good day, or put a post on my community wall and humble myself and ask for spiritual assistance and ask for y'all to pray for me, And I kid you not, I will feel better and feel lighter, because there is power in numbers when everyone can agree to be on one accord, and or moving with one singular intention. Even if it is something as broad as, let me just send Queen Lovely some energy, or let's send someone else in the community some energy. And what it is that I'm about: self-awareness, um self accountability, self-compassion, self-empathy, inward upward mobility, mental, emotional, and spiritual intelligence. That all creates a combustion of self-love that transcends out when you're interacting with others. That's not appreciated in this space at the moment. It's really not. The rawness, the authenticity, the vulnerability, it's not appreciated in urban Black America at this moment. Wisdom is not appreciated in urban Black America at this moment. A willingness to heal, a willingness to do better, a willingness to look in the mirror, it's not appreciated in urban Black America at the moment. Going back to social work school plays a big part in this as well, because it was my supervisor over the summer who really pushed for me to come back and finish my last year. I was going to do it, but I was thinking about doing it maybe in the spring or maybe in the fall. But when God says, no, you are needed, there are certain people that you need to meet. There are certain people that need to hear your voice. There are certain people that need to see your face, that need to read your work and hear your ideas. Your energy is needed. And you go into those spaces and it's never negative, it's never daunting, it's never, oh, I don't want to go. I mean, I wake up tired sometimes and I don't want to go in. But then, like, once you get there, it's just nothing but support. I'm just at a space where that matters to me. Being seen, and being validated by way of the algorithm is great for the ego. It's cool for the ego. It does something for my flesh. There's nothing wrong with that. But if it's a situation right now where I need to choose between the two, I'd rather go with what fills my soul up and what lights me up from the inside. The reason why I've decided to put my videos on private is because I just don't want my intellectual property out there. My content and my mind and how that transcends into my content is brilliant, is genius. And it needs to be protected. It's sacred. If there's ever a video that any of my well-known community members want, and I recognize a lot of y'all, you can always email me, because I won't be on any social media, and request the video and I will unlist it and send you the link. I have no problem doing that. I have no problem doing that at all. Just email me, tell me which video you want. I've had people do that several times. They'll be like, yo, I really want to see this video, and I'll unlist it and send them the link. So I have no issue doing that. But just leaving my content and my intellectual property out there and my artistic integrity out there for people to possibly do now. It would be hard for me to walk away from this space. It would be really hard for me to walk away from this space, because even though I never really spoke about this, there's several times over where I've seen bigger content creators say shit that I've said verbatim. And granted, great minds think alike. I'm not one of those people that walk around with a main character syndrome and think I'm the first or the only, but there are just certain ways in which I convey certain thoughts on certain topics where I'm like, this person watched my shit. And now they're regurgitating it word for word. So yeah, I just put my stuff on private and even unpublished my Patreon page. And another thing that also added to that too, I was looking at like my revenue for October. Y'all don't really, I'm sure there's people that rewatch my content, but it's not to a point where it would make sense to leave it up. Like I don't have a big enough platform that goes crazy in the algorithm to where it's like I can walk away, but I know people are still going to be watching. Like it's just not like that, and that's okay. Like it's fine. But yeah, my email, it will be pinned in the comments as well as the description box. So will my booking site. You can always book. Those things will always be open, but I'm just done on YouTube. I'm not done doing astrology. I'm not done doing life coach. I'm about to graduate, and get my master's and whatnot. And I'm already working in my field. So I'm still doing the work. I feel like I'm reintegrating back into the physical world and showing up at with this new layer of myself that I've discovered. And I just want to be able to do that without the influence of the digital world. If that makes sense. Like I just want to be out in the world and just be out in the world. Because that's another thing. Like I go to class and literally like from my social work practice class, I'm the only black person in that class. Everyone is white, just white women. And you listen to conversations that's had. You listen to the topics of discussions that matter to them. And then you start to realize I'm like a big fish in a small fishbowl of my own making. There is so much more to life than the same 50, 11 fucking conversations and topics that are all over the algorithm, from world news to current events to pop culture to reality TV to memes to discourse to the people that you follow and people that follow you, the same people in your text messages, the same shows, continuations of the same conversations. And it's not bad and it's nothing wrong. It's just for me, I just feel my higher self knocking at my consciousness and saying, it's really time for you to spread out. You have done all you can do with this space right here. Spread out, girl, stretch. Like reach up, stand up, move around a little bit. Like that's just the energy I'm feeling. And when you are someone that is not only like the average person, right, on the internet consuming stuff from YouTube to social media, but part of your soul mission. So for me, like the astrology and the commentary and the teaching and stuff is tied into that. It can feel really small. I feel like there's untapped potential in all of us that has a way of getting stifled and just kind of lost in all the confusion of what we perceive and choose to be important, which is heavily influenced by the conditioning of what it is that we're seeing on a day to day and engaging and digesting on a day to day. You understand? I also feel like, and it's not even a feeling, I know there's a bubble that's about to pop energetically, but specifically in American culture. And like I've been saying, specifically within urban Black American culture, we gonna be the first ones to feel it because we the last ones to get it. So yeah, I feel like I'm just being moved out the way. Everyone has choices, everyone has free will. And with my choice and my free will, this is just how I'm choosing to flow. At minimum for 1 year. God may reorder my steps back with a more coherent vision of how I want to show up and a team and support that allows that to come together. Because that's another thing. I give myself a lot of credit because from 2021 up until almost a year ago when I had my suicide attempt and the first week of November 2023, I lost two parents. I got physically assaulted. I was hospitalized with COVID. I had a breakdown, got hospitalized, Ivy League, strenuous master's program, a lot. And that's a lot to juggle mostly by yourself in a physical sense. And then you're still trying to be consistent with your creative endeavors and with the endeavors that light you up. It's a lot. I am not God. Magical, divine, a goddess, but I am not God. And everyone needs help. And maybe that's what this year will do for me. Maybe while I'm out in the world, I will meet people that are just as excited as I am about certain things, and they are willing to help me bring the vision together. The vision is still there. Helping Black women navigate the journey of obtaining and sustaining mental, emotional, and spiritual wellness. The mission statement and the journey is still there. It's just sometimes, like Denzel Washington said, do not mistake constant movement with progress. There's no progress being made. I feel like this first leg, this first act, or maybe the second act. I maybe live a Leah show. I'll let y'all decide in the comments. Was the first act. I think this second act, as it comes to a close, when it comes to my creative endeavors and how that ties into the evolution and the ascension of me as a spiritual being having this human experience as a divine woman. I feel like this was a period for me to really come out of my cocoon. And now it's time for me to fly, learn how to fly. And I feel like when my wings are confident, I will come back and arrive and land. Or maybe it'll be another platform. Because I know that I'm destined for humongous things. I don't know what those things are, but I'm so excited to figure it out. And I really feel like I just love y'all. And I thank y'all so much because I really don't know what I would have done without this microphone, without this laptop, and without this platform and space during the worst time ever in my life up until now. And I really appreciate those of you. And I appreciate people such as Ashonda, Morgan, Jordan Beasley says, Day One Lovelies, that's been rocking with me, KG. Day One Lovelies has been rocking with me since Lava Leah show days. Well, it's Monica too. Day One Lovelies. I really do appreciate those of you that have walked this through with me as I've walked through with y'all. It's just a beautiful journey. And I don't think it's a goodbye, but I do think it's a see you later. My nana would say that anyways. She would say so long. My Scorpio queen, her birthday is 1 month from today, November 20th. God rest her soul. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I really am just grateful. And once again, I really mean that. My email will be in the comments. It will be in the description box. Any video that y'all want that is of substance. That is of substance. If you come into my email and be like, yo, Queen, I will unlist it and send you the link. Okay. Just respect and don't do nothing crazy with it. But yeah. Cause I remember one time, I think it was in 2023, like I had took a break and then my whole shit started blowing up because somebody had went and grabbed the video from 2022 and took my words out of context. And that's what I mean, shit like that. Just like as I close this out, I'm tired of shit like that. Like, can do a whole video where I'm talking about like shit that matters, but you clip 30 seconds and then present it out of context for your stupid ass agenda. I'm tired of that. I'm just tired of that. Like the Medium article said, you have to go where what it is that you want to do, um it's valued. It's valued, and it's needed. And what I offer is just not valued in these urban Black American spaces at the moment. It's just not. It's just not. And I feel like you have a lot of people that feel similar to how I feel in their own respectful ways. But sometimes, especially those of us Black people in Black American culture, we're afraid to admit it because we don't want to be seen or looked at a certain way or get certain backlash from the community. But I prefer the backlash from the community as opposed to the backlash from myself that can fester into resentment, regret, and jealousy when I see other people doing what it is that I could have did, but I was too concerned with what people may think or how they may perceive me. you know um Part of that is why it took me a little while to come to this, because I'm like, oh, people gonna be like, oh, she quitting again, she doing this. But it's like, who cares? You understand? I have to live for me. We all do. You know what I mean? And I think it's a beautiful way to close out my 20s. Um, so yeah, yeah. I love y'all. And so long. So long. Take care of yourselves and be good to one another.